Welcome to The Q, the talk show about questions and during the quandary of the quarantine for COVID-19. My name is Lisa Maroney. I'm the Director of Business Development for the town of Chelmsford. And we're here in this edition to talk about small business recovery, questions regarding that. And spoiler alert, I do not have all the answers to all the burning questions of what this is going to look like. How we will reopen our businesses. And so here with us today is our regular panelists, as well as some special guests. So let me introduce to you the panelists on the talk show. I'd like to introduce Jen Melanson from the town of Chelmsford, my coworker and colleague. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Lisa. How you doing? I'm
Good.
very disappointed to hear that you don't have all the answers, because that's really the only reason why I'm here today. So,
well, that's why I have all of you here with me, so that we can work together on our experience, our education, our knowledge of what this small business community is all about, and how we're going to do this teamwork process to get everything back up and running and create a stable economy again. I'd also like to introduce Megan Curran back to the show. Thanks, Megan, for joining us again.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I've been comparing my living situation with my children and homeschooling them and trying to run my own little business. It's difficult, and I think I'm going downhill the further we go into this, because today I just put on a little lipstick and a shirt that wasn't a pajama shirt. And my children said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Going upstairs into the bathroom to do my little talk show." So they were really shocked. And I think, just seeing me brush my hair and, get out of my slippers is shocking to them at this point. So that's where I am right now.
It is definitely challenging times, that's for sure. We're all experiencing it in a different way. So also with us again is Karen Woodrow, owner of Visiting Angels. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Lisa. Great to be here. As a small business owner of an essential business, we are up and running, but I got to tell you, I'm very excited about this show in particular, because as I drive up to the office and as I drive through my hometown, I drive by all these businesses that are shuttered, and my imagination takes me through the windows, and I picture all the employees that used to have the hustle bustle behind their door, and I think about everyone being at home and the income that they're not getting. And so I'm excited to learn from our businesses that we're having on the show today about what they are doing to survive. Everyone is getting very creative now, and small businesses are out there, but in a different way. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what they have to say. And post-COVID, Justin, I look forward to meeting you, because I understand your cafe is right across the street from our office. So I will be in and give you a hug when I can. When it's okay.
I will welcome that hug like you don't even know.
Well, great segue then, Karen. Thank you. So let's hear from Justin. He is the owner of KJ's Cafe. They did open up at the end of 2018, if I have that right. And so we all know KJ's Cafe, very popular, locally owned small business restaurant, competing against another very popular coffee store chain across the street, and everybody was like, "Oh, how's that going to work? How's he going to make it over there?" And next thing you know, you're I don't want to say consuming the parking lot, but a lot of that parking that was taken up is come and go traffic for your restaurant. So let's hear from Justin as far as opening a business in Chelmsford, and then now just in this situation we're in with this quarantine.
Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate, like all of you, getting out and being able to do something today. I've been missing my work quite a bit. I've been trying to get down here at least once a week just to make sure everything is in check. Certain refrigerators and freezers haven't completely collapsed, and really just to get out and feel like I'm doing something, like you said, Megan, getting out of my pajamas and experiencing life outside my neighborhood. But just to bring me back, at least I feel like we almost started at the same time or similar, where, I didn't know what to expect, but I felt like the community certainly embraced us right away, and it was an amazing experience. I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know if we were going to succeed or not. And I think in this business, owning your own business, you constantly have to be on your toes. And I know we'll talk about COVID-19, but that stresses the fact that you have to be willing to adjust and create audibles at all times. But this was something that was our dream family business, and it got off to such a great start, which is why, you know, in so many aspects, you know, you feel bad for so many people, and it's such an unbelievable time. I keep saying there's no template for this because nobody's ever experienced it before, but you know, I felt like we had a lot of momentum, and I was really excited for the summer, and that was just kind of one of the bummers, you know, for lack of a better term, for this all to happen, because, you know, it was exciting, and see what happened in the summer of year 2, and then it kind of comes to a screeching halt.
Right. I think no one in any industry is really prepared for something like this. Perhaps the scientists could kind of foresee something coming, but in the level of a pandemic where it closes all businesses at all the same time is pretty shocking and still hard to even believe it's happening. And I too drive around, have a rise of panic about what it's like to be on the other side of this as a business owner, as well as what are the types of tools and programs, aside from an open checkbook, of course, do you think would best help your businesses as we do this slow reopening of the economy? Any thoughts from you, Justin, on how can we help you recover other than come in and drink endless amounts of coffee?
Well, I should start off by saying, first of all, that I truly appreciate, and I know I've told you this privately, but you know, if I could say publicly, the amazing job that you're doing and sending out all the emails. I always say, you know, overwhelm me, because I would rather have too much knowledge to have it sink in at some point than to not have it at all. So thank you for that. And I just think, for one, I believe the CARES Act, the PPP, I know it's run out of funding and it's kind of had some hiccups here and there, but that first and foremost was an incredible stimulus for small businesses. And if you're able to take advantage of that, which we are lucky enough to have, I think that is first and foremost, you know, we hear the word game changer a lot, and I believe that was a game changer. And just to use each other's knowledge, like you said, nobody has been through this, so we need to pick each other's brains. We need to be there for each other. If there was ever a time to kind of stick together and do it as one, this is the time, you know, because if you have a little bit of knowledge and you have a little bit of knowledge, you know, knowledge is power, certainly in this case as well. So I think just kind of don't be shy asking for help. And I think funds are certainly tough to come by right now, and each business is certainly different from the next. But just using each other's knowledge, advice, support, suggestions, all of it. Like I said, you can't be shy right now. You just got to speak out.
That's it, exactly. I mean, I don't claim to have all the answers. I don't even know all the questions to ask at this point. So what I continually been doing is just trying to stay connected with small businesses, find out what they need, because perhaps something like the chamber can resolve and piece together, you know, whichever that toolbox looks like from one business to the next. And, you know, I'll turn this over to Jill with her a little bit, and then maybe hear the panelists based on these two businesses, how we can all help in their respective situations, because Justin is in the food industry, Jill is in the fitness and wellness industry. So, I mean, everything is kind of looped together one way or another. And just Justin is saying, it's those pieces and parts that we all contribute on how best to help the small economy and all of that, you know. So let's just hear from Jill of how you're handling this quarantine situation.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. And first of all, thank you for having me be here as well. I'm going to echo Justin's words and say it's a bummer. That's the exact word that I was thinking as well. Springtime is really our time to start to build. People are coming off of their New Year's resolutions, and maybe they didn't stick with them right in January, but March, April, that's the time that they're going to get into something new. And I did have a little bit of an influx of new students, and then it was just a halt. So it was bad timing, but we are able to adapt in some ways. So we were able to move our classes online. It's not ideal because one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is the personal attention, and everyone comes in with a different health goal in mind. And that's what we really strive to help that person find and reach that goal. So it's a lot harder to do online. I feel fortunate in that there are other Human Harmonies locations in Massachusetts as well. And we've been able to team together and do some brainstorming and work together online. But we are not, it's not the same. So it's been a challenge, and people are experiencing I've been reading about Zoom fatigue, and they like the classes online, but it's not really fun to be staring at a screen all day, and it doesn't feel good, and it kind of drains you, and you see yourself looking sort of sallow in a screen, and it doesn't feel as invigorating as being in person. But with that being said, we are trying to help people manage that stress through movement, and that's really what we can do right now. And so in addition to our current students and our online programming that we have for them, we're putting out some just absolutely free online content for anyone who wants to access it. So last week we did a stress relief series, and it was a 3-part series, and it's on Facebook and YouTube. This week is going to be on revitalizing and energizing movements, and they're just short, 10 minutes at a time, so people can access them during a busy day, whether someone's at home and isolated and feeling the stress from that, or you're home in a house full of people and you need this, there's the stress from that. We're trying to figure out what we can do, because what people need right now is health and stress relief, and that's what we offer. So, as much as we're able to. One of the things that you had mentioned is how can the town help? And I will say, I echo again what Justin said. There's other people that I know that are in the same kind of business, and they don't have the same support from their towns. They're not given the information and the resources, and they're always impressed when I say, oh, this resource is available to me, or this is an event that I've attended, and they don't have that same access. So I really sincerely appreciate that.
So what I'm hearing, I'm listening to you talk, Jill, and what's coming to my mind is that with this experience that we're all going through, I think we're going to emerge from this with a great new education and learning about how we can better partner and utilize each other. I mean, you all knew that I was here, and the role in general of business development. We all know what kind of Jen is all about and what Danielle does, but I think we're going to be used in a much more creative way as maybe by means of survival for small business, but it's a realization and an awareness of everything else, of these resources around us. So when you're talking about wellness, I'm thinking about Jen, because I'm always running to Jen saying, I'm unraveling today. I can't, I'm panicked about all my businesses. How are they going to make it? How are we going to do this? Jen's become my lean on person, and this little panel formed this way for a reason. So these are the people that have kind of clustered around my needs as I pull them in and out of how to support business community. And there's much more that you all don't know about that I have available, but you have to reach out to Jen or Megan or Danielle or even Karen. Karen and I have met because of my situation with my mother in isolation, which I've mentioned maybe too many times, but this is how this network forms and builds, and I think this is how we're going to emerge from this in the slow reopening. So I'm going to kind of just open it up to the panel. I know Danielle probably has a whole bunch of things to say that she's been patiently waiting to contribute, as well as my other co-hosts. So I'm going to kind of just open it up and see what you guys have to say and how to contribute from your perspectives on some of this.
Well, thank you all. I'm really happy to be here, and I echo all the sentiments that have been said before. I think that we're all going to come out of this, and the partnerships and relationships that we have are going to be that much stronger, which is ironic because everything's being done via the phone or virtually. But I've seen, from the chamber perspective, we've seen members and businesses and community partners more regularly, maybe in the last 6 weeks than we've seen in the year. So that's been really encouraging. And the fact that there's a lot of things that, I've wanted to do for the chamber that I just didn't have the time for. And now we've kind of just all been thrust into this world and had to adapt and offer classes virtually or increase our marketing. So I think we're going to come out of this stronger. It's a trying time for everybody right now. And what we've been trying to do through the chamber is just taking in all the information that we possibly can, making it digestible and easier to understand, and then putting it back out there. So that's really, I think, a big part of what our role's been, along with just offering as many virtual events, webinars, networking opportunities as possible during this time. And we love Lisa. We love working with the town. You've just been fabulous. So I wanted to give you kudos as well.
Danielle, just the way you've offered your services to businesses that aren't chamber members currently, but can utilize some of your offerings without being a chamber member, but maybe they're realizing they should have been a member all along and not understanding what they were missing out on. So thank you for extending some of that as well. We've always done a lot of great work together, and I just want to appreciate what you've been doing and how you continue to evolve. And you're always outstretched to the business community in Chelmsford and beyond as well. So,
Danielle, could you talk about the Greater Lowell Spirit Week? I think that maybe your Tuesday event in particular about shopping mom and pop stores will be relevant to this conversation.
So May 3rd, the week of May 3rd, we're doing a Greater Lowell Spirit Week. So it's on the chamber website and it's also on Facebook, and we're grabbing any other partners that want to partner on with us. So maybe we can get the town to come on with us. So each day we're going to do a celebration. So on Sunday, it's going to be celebrating Student Sunday, where we can celebrate all of these students that are either having, to adjust to the remote learning. I can't even say it. Because I'm such in the thick of that right now. The remote learning, graduating from 8th grade or high school or college, so we can celebrate them. Monday is Mom and Pop Shop Monday, where we want to celebrate all of our small businesses. Tuesday's Town Pride Tuesday. So the week kind of goes on and on like that. Foodie Friday. So we just want to get the whole community involved in something really positive and flooding the news feeds with pictures and tagging businesses and talking about why we love our city or town so much. So that's my idea with Greater Lowell Spirit Week.
Thank you, Danielle. So I'd like to just kind of turn it over to Jen to get an update from Jen on what her thoughts are as far as small business recovery. I know she and I have had many conversations as far as how to help in terms of providing enough of that emotional support, because I know I get panic phone calls from business owners and, it's a real tough situation, but I'm sure Jen's getting a lot of similar calls, and just want to maybe hear some thoughts from Jen on that.
Yeah. So, Jill, when you were talking earlier, I was I was naturally kind of thinking about, and actually Justin too, when you both were talking, what comes to my mind is how I can support your businesses and also your employees. So, you guys are trying to make things happen, especially Jill, you're trying to keep your business going and provide classes online. And, you talk about Zoom fatigue and all of that, which I'm sure your employees are experiencing too. So, and Karen, I particularly think about this with you as being an essential business. And, I spent 20 years working in healthcare. So I have a little bit of an idea of, what your employees are going through. And I'm wondering how that's going with supporting your employees. Justin, I know that you're not operating now, so I'm wondering how your employees are doing. And maybe the three of you could talk a little bit about that. And maybe there's some way that that I can step in and help support your employees that are really experiencing some difficult times right now?
Yeah, so for us anyway, I know, like you said, we're not open. So I've just been trying to stay positive with my employees. Like I said, I did get the CARES Act and the PPP, so I'm hoping that can help pay some of my full-time employees. I actually have been paying a couple of my managers, well, my 2 managers. I told them right off the bat that as long as I'm here, I need to support them any way I can. So I was able to do that. And, they put me in such a great position that I had to try to take care of my own. So, but then again, with the CARES Act, it really helped, stretch that out. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to open up. It is a bit strange because we focused on quantity of people coming in. So it's kind of that balancing act of what we're going to do. Certainly see what Governor Baker is going to allow us to do, and then just really try to make the best decision possible. But I try at least once a week, twice a week to stay in touch with the employees, send a group text message out to everybody, see how everybody's doing. I see some on occasion, walking by the shop when I'm here and when it's nice out. So just trying to, I think, number one, stay positive, support, and really just let them know that I'm here or anybody else is there if they need us.
So we are supporting our caregivers in several ways. One is the support from the CARES Act that Justin has been talking about. We were able to receive funds to keep our employees sort of at the level that they were at before if they've lost hours because we've lost clients due to COVID. So we are able to make up for lost hours. We're also able to pay them an incentive bonus for hours that they work. Our caregivers are in the homes of the high risk segment of the population with these seniors, and they're critical. Some seniors can't get through the day without our caregivers in there, and their caregivers are putting their own lives in danger. They are essential workers just like our doctors and nurses, and so we're trying to give them some incentive pay. A lot of people are in this business not for the money, but for just giving back to the community, and we're trying to figure out how to say thank you. Another thing that we're doing is we are providing them with personal protection equipment so that they can stay safe and keep our clients safe. And the other thing is we try and reach out with all kinds of resources. For example, the Attorney General's office has put out Frontline .org, and it's for the frontline workers, and it's got a lot of resources on that website to support them. We put out emails about caregiver fatigue and what they can do to take care of themselves. And Jen, if you're open to that, I would love to put it out to our Chelmsford employees that if they are really struggling, that they can reach out to you. Our office staff is working. We are there trying to support our caregivers. And we have all kinds of tips about trying to eat healthy. Megan, you're the expert on that, trying to get sleep and really take care of yourself. But I think that there is a mental fatigue associated with being a caregiver all the time in your work and in your home to your children or to your senior family members. So Jen, thank you for the offer, and we can talk later about how I can put my caregivers in touch with you and your services.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Jill? How is it going with your employees and keeping them going while they're trying to keep other people going?
Well, so we have a little bit of a different setup over here. I actually am here 6 days a week that we're open. So I'm here all the time. So there aren't really any full-time employees aside from me who's here. So our community is more of supporting the students right now because some of them are here 5 to 6 days a week that I'm here as well. So it's a little different, not really the employer-employee model as student-teacher model. And so we have been meeting, whether it's through Zoom or through phone calls or just finding some way to check in to make sure everyone's doing okay. And the students are supporting each other as well. They ask about each other if someone's not online for a few days, making sure that they're okay. So we have a little bit of a different community feeling over here, but still making sure everyone's doing okay. And some people are home in their 70s and, they're relying on some of these services that are being provided for them as well. So a little bit of a different format.
So Megan, we all have kind of referred to you in one way or another, and maybe you could contribute from the nutritional perspective. Any thoughts on our connection with small business recovery?
Yeah, everyone is doing an amazing job. I give you guys so much credit. I can't imagine the stress that you must be feeling, not only supporting yourself and your family, but your employees as well. That must be a heavy, load to carry. I said from the beginning, the only control I feel that we really have is how we take care of each other and ourselves. I've gotten a few groups together to do like a sugar detox, which sounds insane because everyone is just grabbing for, cakes. Or everyone I talk to is like, I've never made so many cookies. And I say, it's awesome, I do too. But if you can sort of, now that you have time, focus on, more cooking healthier meals, or maybe, learning a new recipe, or taking that stress that you're feeling and that sort of anxious energy and maybe putting it towards the idea of coming out of this a little bit healthier, making ourselves as strong on the inside as we can. The stress that takes on our body is awful. It wreaks havoc straight through every system in our body. So by, drinking lots of water, little basics, getting a lot of fruits and vegetables, trying to, get out in the fresh air every day, trying to take a walk, trying to take some mental breaks. I see it with my kids too. When they're doing their Google Classroom, sometimes they'll say, I'm not done, but I just shut it down. We're going for a walk. When they're sitting there, I sneak little glasses of water or some cut up apples and just slide them in. And then they're just working, but they're munching. They don't even realize they're doing it. Just anything to kind of try to keep the system as healthy as we can. And to me, that's really the only thing I feel in control of right now. Helping people in any way that I can. I've done some cooking videos. I've, tried to offer to Table of Plenty some, recipes with a bag of food, just something to get people feeling like, there's a little control here. We can try to be as healthy as we can, just really nourishing ourselves and the people that we're caring for at this point.
Kind of like what you're saying, there's so many unknown variables and more aspects that we can't control than the aspects that we can. And that's what's creating a lot of heightened anxiety and maybe some levels of even panic. So I can only emphasize and continue to promote and create awareness that there are many resources available, in addition to this group here. And each of us have our networks as well that can be brought in further to add support and resources. So we'll continue to work together. I'm always open to bring on more guests and other topics. So as we wrap up, is there anything else that anybody has a burning question that we should try to answer before we end this show?
I would just like to summarize how we can support local small businesses. The chant around my house is, can we order takeout to support our local business? Can we bring in from our local business? So even though we can't go in and enjoy the atmosphere, if there's a local business out there that you can support virtually by posting on Facebook a review, or buying a gift card, or just ordering in for dinner tonight, I think it'd be really helpful.
Yeah. Okay, so that wraps it up for this segment of The Q. Thank you for watching, and please keep sending your questions to us. We'd love to continue the conversation. Join us next week on The Q. We'll continue to answer the questions during this quandary of a quarantine of COVID-19. Feel free to contact me with any questions you may have, and feel welcome to join the show. Thank you very much, and see you then.